And we're live. Just check. Because I recently did an event and forgot to set the microphone on. So the whole thing was muted. So I think it's about time to start. Okay. Okay, so we're off. Now, I said that we were going to look at, that this is going to be about, where's the page gone? That, this is going to be about Liverpool Leeds. Sorry, just take a minute to set things up. I mean, the game itself starts at 7:45, so we've time. So, okay, Liverpool Leeds was the kind of headline act. But looking at, what other matches are out there. Sorry, whoop. So let's go to football. So, that's not the only game. It starts in, as it says, 14 minutes. Anything else interesting? I don't really know these teams. I would guess, I've heard of Torino. They were historically a very strong club. I think, isn't that where Ian Hart went? As in they seem to be having some kind of a comeback. From my sketchy knowledge of Italian football, all I know is that about a plane crash, or that Torino used to have a fantastic team. So somewhat like Man United. Well, I've never really heard of Pisa as a team, and that's reflected in the odds. That Torino are a strong favorite. So I want to take advantage of the time that I have now. So we've got about 12 minutes now, so I can get some prep work done. So I'm familiar with Liverpool and Leeds. Liverpool are, having a very good season. Leeds are doing well also. They're quite high up on again in the lower division in the Championship, but it's not as if Leeds are, struggling, that they're in the relegation zone or anything like that. So, Leeds should be feeling relatively confident. This would be a great day for them to, play against one of the giants. And also it's a historically famous, they're two giant clubs historically as well. The one that has caught my attention, though, is Hull versus Newcastle. Because Hull, I think, are going to get relegated. They are not, they're they're a minnow club. They just got promoted. Then their manager who got them promoted left. They were in chaos about whether they were going to be taken over. So they didn't really get to do any signing as they went up. So they have a very small squad. The transfer window's closed. So they're stuck with pretty much the same team that they came up with, but they didn't get to strengthen. So the squad is so small that they have to play the same team pretty much every week. That's just the recipe for disaster. So then it's a case of, in a way, I'd say Hull and Newcastle are pretty much on level footing. In fact, Newcastle look like they're going to get promoted. It looked like they're going to come top of the table quite comfortably. They're doing really well. In fact, their squad is worth more than the Hull squad. They have in Benitez, they have a world-class manager who's won the Champions League, who's managed Real Madrid, Liverpool, Inter Milan, Valencia. He's absolutely top class. So, and they have a bigger squad than Hull. I would say that I'd suspect that Newcastle were focusing on this game. Like this weekend, they rested their top striker, who's been doing really well. So, yes, they lost the game. I'd bet that Newcastle would win because since they're doing so well. But they go into this in great shape. Now I'll have to see what squad Newcastle play. I mean, do they play their star striker, the guy who's been scoring pretty much every week? So, okay, the squad should already be out. So, we'll get to see what team Newcastle put out. So that to me looks very interesting. That Newcastle have every chance of winning this. Liverpool Leeds. Well, I mean, the odds are, hugely backing Liverpool. Because remember, they actually just knocked out Spurs in the last round to get to this stage. And this stage is interesting because, I mean, this is the quarterfinal. So win this, you're at the semi-final. So you're pretty much within touching distance of the final and winning a trophy. And no one wants to, throw away a trophy since there are so few opportunities to win anything. You can win the league, maybe a European trophy, the FA Cup, and the, what's it called now? The EFL Cup. Now, winning and Liverpool aren't in Europe either. So they're only in three competitions. The chances are, Liverpool supporters, the chances are they're not going to win the league. They will do well, but I wouldn't bet on them to win the league. So you don't have many opportunities to win anything, and it would just be a boost in morale and all that kind of stuff. So they're my two primary matches. Now, here it is. So I'm gonna follow the matches on Bet365. As the game goes on, if opportunities come up, then I'll just react to those. Is there anything now? I don't really know about these. I wouldn't know who the favorite is and all that kind of stuff. So for the moment, I'll just collapse these. I'm just going to look at Newcastle just to see the squads. Excellent. They're up. Yes. Gale. So Gale is the main man. So as you can see, Newcastle have 1-1-1-1. Actually, they lost the last match. I think, as I was saying, I was backing Newcastle to win. Did Hull win? I think. Did Hull play Stoke? I can't remember. But they've only had 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw, while Newcastle have been having, I would say, a better run in. So Gale is the main man who was not played over the weekend. So that to me suggests that Newcastle are taking this very seriously. Yeah, I mean, this is a good side. Now, Hull are playing a good side. I mean, Snodgrass, Huddleston, Livermore, these are good. Again, I just don't think Hull really have that many alternatives. That's all they have. I'm just going to look at Liverpool Leeds as well. I suppose it's getting close to the match starting. 3 minutes. Where was I again? I was looking here. So I want to just see what squad, who have Liverpool played. So Mignolet, he's not their first choice goalie at the moment, but he's the Belgian goalie, top player, very good. Origi Wijnaldum? No. Yeah, I mean, Mane, these are first team players. But there's maybe half the team are not regular starters. So this is a weakened team. Do they have? Okay, so they have Milner, Henderson, but they don't have like Coutinho's injured. They don't have Firmino. So, it just means that they don't have their A team, their top attack. So this is not the Liverpool that people are used to. I'm just going to hop over to OLBG. So both teams have won 4 of their last 5 games. However, with both teams focusing to their leagues, rotation should be expected. Liverpool are unbeaten at home this season. Liverpool to win. Now, this guy is highly impressive. I mean, his tips tend to win. So that suggests that we should expect Liverpool to win. Liverpool have a good record, not brilliant odds here. That's the thing. It's just the odds are so poor. I mean, if you bet on strong favorites, then you should typically win. But there's a mix of profit and loss. So, if I bet on strong favorites, like which you have odds of 1.3, then nearly always I'm going to win. But when I win, I'm going to win very little amounts of money. So one loss will wipe out my wins. So this guy backing Leeds, Liverpool will have 7 injured players for tonight's match. I don't think League Cup is their top priority this season. They will play tonight. They will not play tonight with their best players. I agree with that. That they aren't playing their full team. Though I would have then thought that you'd bet on Liverpool not to win rather than Leeds to win. But at 11 point, those are good odds. Sorry. This looks interesting. Both teams to score. Because in Liverpool games in the league this year, both teams to score have happened very often. So that's why, as this guy said, I found 7 match played between these two at Anfield. All of them ended up with both teams scored. Rarely happens so Liverpool cannot score at home. Leeds won the last 3 championship battles. Found the net 6 times. So yeah, I mean, I think there's potential value there. Because both teams have both teams to score quite often. Now, this guy has a good track record, but this is why I also mentioned, it is good to wait to bet till the match begins. This guy says the match is a League Cup match, which is true. But he's saying they have enough quality to hammer Leeds with Mane, Sturridge, Firmino. Now, Mane's playing. but Sturridge and Firmino aren't. So I'm not, they don't. They are not playing their A team. So it's not clear what's gonna go on. Okay, so, and I also just want to look at Hull Newcastle, since I said, I want to be following both. No, I don't want this. Nah. Come on. Show expired. Yeah, okay. So now I just want to have a quick, this is like, the homework phase. So you can, or so that I can get some information, and then I'll be up to date when the game actually is on. So here, Newcastle rested a host of players on the weekend. Yep, I noticed that. With an eye on this, yeah, I totally agree with this guy. And he has a good track record. So yeah, I want to back Newcastle to win. Rafa will go for a win here. He wants to prove his managerial abilities, blah, blah, blah. Not that he needs to prove his. I mean, he has a incredible track record. He said Hull will rotate their squad. Again, this guy has a very good track record. He's just, this tipper has been doing well. So I'm actually gonna. Yeah, my greed is overcoming any fear I have. Oh, both teams to score. Looks to have goals in it for both sides. After a poor run, Hull's last two home games have been 1-1 against West Brom and 2-1 against Southampton. I'll just finish this and then I'll. Okay, no, I'm going to zoom over to the match for a little bit. Okay, so there's no goals yet. Liverpool have had 80% possession. So I just quickly read this, and then I can pay attention to the match. Hull have conceded at least one goal in all but one of their games. Hull have scored at least one in 6 of the last 8. Okay, so now that said, Hull aren't playing their full team. Hull put their league struggles on down, blah, blah, blah. So both teams to score looks interesting. If both teams are to score, I think quite often, typically that means you get more than 3 goals. So I like the over 2.5 goals then. I mean, 3 goals or more. Okay, so I'll take a break from research for the moment. I'm just going to look at my bets. So I backed Chievo to win before, so that was nice. I've already I already have a bet on. Oh, the odds have gone up to 2.5. Excellent. Okay. I'm feeling more aggressive now than I was when I began. So I think that this will be all I'll do on the whole Newcastle. I think that's the game. That's the opportunity that just looks most interesting to me. I'll now look at my other. I want to make the same bet on this side. And then we can just follow the match a little bit. Okay, so I actually like. Oh, draw no bet, sorry. 2.5 goal as well. Did I not have a bet on this? Oh, okay, so I'll put it on now. Okay, so at least I have, some bets in place. I don't think I'll be needing to look at the OLBG stuff now because I got to read some of the comments, look at the various options. So the OLBG I like just to be given recommendations, suggestions of potentially interesting things. But the game has begun. Now, likewise, I could have used OLBG to look at Sheffield United Walsall. So I don't know anything about that. But if there were comments in OLBG, that would kind of point me in the right direction. It would kind of mention interesting, relevant pieces of information, which again could be wrong because there was a guy and he was saying he was going to back Liverpool because to score 3 or more goals because with Firmino and Sturridge, except they aren't playing. Just checking. Nope, Sturridge isn't playing. Okay. So we've gone past the first 10 minutes. No. Because that's where odd things can happen. It's nicer to kind of ride out the first 10 minutes, and now it should be and the odds should be better. Again, this being the Quant channel, one of the things I've been talking about, I talk about like fair value. So essentially, I use the betting exchanges. So, if you're looking at Liverpool versus Leeds, so I'll go on Betfair. there are no bookies. On Betfair, people who can either take bets. So I can say, I want to bet on Liverpool. Or I can say, I want to take a bet. So I can say, look, I'll pay someone 1.3 for that Liverpool are going to win, because I think that's very low odds. Or the person who said that, feels that those odds are very low. So you have people who are offering on both sides of the bet. As the game develops, the odds obviously change, because, if there's only 1 minute to go, the odds for Liverpool to win would be a lot higher. I mean, because the most likely outcome in that case would be a draw. Now, so here we can see that in a no bookie market, the odds for Liverpool to win are 1.28, while the bookie is only giving 1.25. So essentially, you can see that I could be the bookie. I could say, I'll pay you 1.26. But what I do is that if somebody bets €100 on Bet365, I immediately bet €100 on Betfair. But I get more on Betfair. So the bookie gets the 0.04, like the 4%, which is the difference between how much Bet365 pays and what is available on the market. Now, Betfair takes, I think, a couple of maybe 5%. So it's not exactly 1.29 and so on, but you get the idea that there is a gap. At the same time, Bet365 actually are pretty good in that they are fair. I mean, what I mean is, Betfair pays 6.4 for a draw. Bet365 pays 5.5. Bet365 is paying 13 for Leeds to win. Oh, sorry. Betfair are paying 14. Okay, so I thought that you might get higher odds for something, but I mean, that wouldn't make sense. If I could get higher, if I got, say, 17 for Leeds on Bet365, then I would bet 100 Leeds to win at 17-1, and at the same time I'd be the bookie on Betfair for less than 17, which would be arbitrage, so risk-free money. Okay, so back to the match. I can just expand it and we can look at the stats, or some stats. So Leeds have had 2 shots on target against 1. Liverpool have had more attacks. I don't know how you define dangerous attack versus an attack. Liverpool have had nearly 80% possession. Okay. Corners, 2-1. But again, it is quite early days. Did I bet anything on Liverpool Leeds? I don't think so. Okay, so I'm just going to flip over. Now, I was thinking an interesting one was 3 or more goals. Both teams to score was the most tempting bet for me in this game so far. I'll just see where is both teams. Both teams to score. Oh, okay. So both teams to score is now pretty good. So I'm going to try and I'm going to go to Liverpool, Leeds. Because that's the thing. I mean, if you wait a little bit, then since there's, as you were waiting, the odds for the both teams to score for 2.5 goals or more, they keep going up. Okay, so I don't know how this works. Why isn't there any offer? I'll just jump over to Betfair. Come on. I'll look it on the side here. Both teams to score. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not piling into this one, but at least, I have, there's a bit, at least I can make a little bit. Something. So I'll just look at what's that doing here? There. So I'm just going to look at the Hull Liverpool again, or Hull Newcastle. I mean, it's nice to have a couple of games going on, since there's a reasonable chance that any one game is going to go against you. At least if you have 2 you're following, hopefully, if you win one and lose the other, they'll kind of cancel out and you'll make a little profit. Like had with the previous live betting, where I was looking at Barcelona in that game. But I won in the other game that was on at the time. I think it was Paris Saint-Germain. Okay, so we're on to 20 minutes. Now, Hull haven't had a shot on target or off target. Newcastle seem to be, they've had more attacks. Possession is about 50-50. I'd like to turn some commentary on. Yeah.
Dreadful, really. Jakubovic, not with the greatest catch, but it's about really. That was difficult to make sure that he can catch it, but he was far too close. We said he was good at what he was crosses with it.
Though I don't know whether what the copyright status there is. So I don't want to be broadcasting their commentary. Okay, so where does that leave us? Now, how are my whole bets? Have I actually got bets in place? Okay, so my Newcastle bets are there. Okay. At least Hull have had a shot. So this is again, going back to the BBC site. So this is the form that a lot of the news is going to be in. It's not just going to be in a table or with numbers. So, you kind of want to read these to kind of see whether there's anything relevant. So, so that Coutinho is going to miss it. It's unlikely to be risk. Sturridge out. Now, of course, we know all this because the game has already started and we've seen the squads. Monk has not said whether he will name his strongest side or make changes like in past rounds. Match facts. It will be Liverpool's fourth meeting with Leeds, having won 2 and drawn 1 in previous 3. Have lost 9 of their past 11 League Cup games against Premier League opposition. Okay. Including each of the 4 away games with the Spirit. So that suggests that we should back Liverpool. Liverpool have progressed from each of their past 3 League Cup quarterfinals. Now, I would add that Liverpool don't have their, primary attackers this time. But still, there's a lot of data. Klopp has won 6 of his 8 League Cup. Liverpool and is looking to take his side into the semi-final for the second time in as many seasons. No team has scored more goals in the EFL Cup than Liverpool this season. Okay. Some 24 of Liverpool's past 28 games against Leeds have taken place in the Premier League, where the Reds' 14 wins is the most inflicted on the Yorkshire side. Blah, blah, blah. The Whites have featured in the League Cup quarterfinal on 7 occasions. Woo! So that's the first piece of information which is supportive of Leeds. Whites have featured in the League Cup quarterfinals on 7 occasions, winning 5. They're just once post 2000. Okay, so I don't think the other, cases are particularly relevant. If you're going back before the year 2000, that was it. I don't think that's relevant. So, to me, the relevant information here would be Klopp. But again, last year was different. Last year, progressed from each of their past 3 League Cup quarterfinals, scoring in the process 37. So I'd be. This would suggest that Liverpool are going to score for a number of goals. But there's nothing, I mean, I could do this bet or that bet, but nothing's really leaping out of the page. Like, I mean, now the Newcastle are stuck at 2.5. The odds haven't gone up to, I've got a few bets I'm trying to get. If it goes to 3, but it doesn't. It's not in any rush to do that. Possession is about the same. Attacks are about the same. It could well be a draw, but it is very early days. Nothing much really to say at the moment, since both games are 0-0. Just more watch the matches. What would be interesting? Oh yeah, I'll just look at the Liverpool match a little. So again, Liverpool are, they have lots of possession, like they had against Sunderland over the weekend. They've got more attacks. Again, Liverpool's the odds are rubbish. I mean, I think they're really good, but not from a bettor's point of view. I mean, 1.3 is. Ooh, there was a substitution. Sorry, what happened there? Does it mention? I'll just look over here. I mean, was that an injury? Nope, it's not saying anything. Just want to see. I kind of like. Yeah, so both the teams to score, because Liverpool's defense is vulnerable. Leeds have been scoring, and it is a cup game, so if a team goes behind, there's no point sitting back. I mean, it's an all or nothing game. Did I do both sides to score? Sorry, I did. Excellent. Now I just want to do €2 there, and that'll be that. So that way, I could make €7, and I'm only risking €4 or something. the most likely outcome is going to be Liverpool to win. But at 1.3, that's just unattractive. I mean, I win such a small amount if I do win. That those cases when Liverpool wouldn't win will cost me far too much. Okay, so Liverpool up to 1.33 at least. I don't need to look at both teams to score anymore because I'm not gonna be betting at both sides to score at higher odds than 3. So Liverpool, it's kind of going as you'd expect. Liverpool are the Premier League side. So Leeds are going to be happy to kind of hit them on the counter. Leeds would be happy with the draw, since then Liverpool would have to come to Leeds, where they'd fancy their chances more. A little bit of time, go back to the whole Newcastle. So now things have changed. I mean, it's still 0-0, but Newcastle have over basically 60% possession. I think it was 50-50 when I was looking at it before. Or maybe I've forgotten. So Newcastle have had a shot on target. They've had 4 shots off target. But they are attacking more. Yeah, I'm happy enough with this. Because I would suspect that Benitez would have a Newcastle as a more finely tuned, well-run machine. Hull, being a team that are in the relegation zone, are basically used to losing. And when you have games like that, there's a reasonable chance that Hull are just going to do something silly. They're going to give away a penalty, or they're just going to make some kind of mistake. So if I was Newcastle, I'd feel, and again, Newcastle have the habit of winning. They most weeks they win. So they have the winner mentality. They are kind of psychologically expecting things to go their way because that is how things have been going. And yeah, it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Though, time will tell. Now, in a way, I should have bet on Liverpool not to win, because that's what the OLBG community were saying. Remember that idea of, and in fact, I did a couple of bets along. I did at least one bet in, I don't even know what league it was. Might have been Brazilian. And that won. So again, that whole idea of the OLBG community, that'll tell me the top 4 bets. So they were the 4 bets that everybody thought were going to be winners. But what the market does is it just drives the price down. So I mean, if you are sure that Liverpool are going to win, you don't care that I'm only paying you 1.3. But as a bookie, I'm delighted because that means if I lose that bet, like if I'm talking about say €10 bets, if I lose that bet, I only lose €3. If Liverpool draw or Leeds win, as in if Liverpool don't win, then I make €10. So if I win one and I lose three, I still make profit. So that's the way it works. That people are very risk averse. They basically would rather win than care about how much they win. So people typically are happy if they win more often. You know, the amount they're getting paid when they win is very small, so that in the end they end up losing. So what happened there? Oh, Hull dangerous attack. Yeah, I'll close that. Now, my main bet at the moment is Newcastle to win. So I don't like Hull having dangerous attacks. But if Hull are attacking, Newcastle can counterattack. What's going on here? So I'm just going to also add Sheffield United to Walsall. What happened there? Ooh. So what's going on here? So Sheffield United, they have more possession. They have more attacks. I mean, they are dominating the game. Okay. Now, I just wanted to look at football. Leeds miss early chance. Oh. Live scores. So I just want to look at the Sheffield United Walsall. No, I don't. I think it's League One. Yes. Okay, so this is the League One table. That's what I wanted to know. Now, Sheffield United are third. If they win the game, they become second. And they're very near each other. So now Scunthorpe have a superb goal difference. So Scunthorpe look like they're clearly the top team, but they're very close. And who are they playing? Walsall, wasn't it? So, you know, okay. Well, relegation zone is 19. Walsall is only 5 over. But then again, it's very tight. My rule of thumb is I think a team is bettable if they're averaging 2 points a game or better. And Sheffield United are just below that. So I could be tempted, but I think I'll leave it. Walsall are not in the relegation zone. They're 24 points. Sheffield United 20. Oh, Sheffield United 39. So, ooh. Yeah, I just think the odds are very low. Who scored? So good I didn't back them. Now, what I want to do is bet on Walsall not to win. I mean, it's... But then again, I actually did this exact same bet the other day and lost. What was it? Ooh, Wigan. Someone was playing Wigan. Anyway, so don't get distracted. I don't know really the background. But this is the kind of stuff that can happen. I mean, Sheffield United are very near the top of the table. They have had far more possession, far more attacks, more shots, yet they're losing. And that's what makes trying to model these things interesting / infuriating. So I'm just going to spend a little, say 30 seconds on this game. Option 1 is do nothing. Remember, I was quite tempted to bet on Sheffield United to win, and a few seconds later they conceded. But that's why that 2 points a game rule is there. Like, only bet on a few teams to win. Another rule is, in general, I wouldn't bet on a team to win away. But Newcastle do have a superb away record, and the odds are interesting. It's pretty much so. I'll step back from the Sheffield United. I'll have a quick look at my two shot, another shot. So, yeah, I would stay away from this game. I mean, the United Walsall one. It just looks like they are playing it right. I can imagine Sheffield United and the audience and the fans would all get really annoyed and frustrated. And Walsall are playing it well. I mean, they have their defense set up. Their goalie seems to be doing well, and they might be able to get them on the counter. So it's nearly half time. I'll just go do a quick check on how my main games are going. So Liverpool Leeds were the headline act. So Liverpool have only had one shot on target, while Leeds have had two. So Leeds are, yes, Liverpool have had over 70% possession. But again, yeah, Leeds are Leeds are a team, I think they're 5th in the championship. So, their confidence would be pretty high. This Liverpool side don't have several of their star players. So this group of players wouldn't have played together regularly. I mean, a team isn't just you can't just chuck out 11 players and expect there to be chemistry. Leeds have had 4 corners, and Liverpool really have not tended to be doing well against set pieces. So if I was Leeds, I'd be kind of feeling if I there might be a goal, there might be opportunity from set pieces. Back to Hull. So here, even though Hull are the home team, Newcastle have had more possession. They've had 6 shots off target, 1 shot on target. So they're, I would say, marginally in the lead. We'll have to see what happens. Is there any other game on? So I'm going to forget the Walsall. I don't know anything about. Oh, what's Torino winning 2-0 or? Oh, that looks interesting. I am going to now. There might be opportunity there. Let's zoom in there. So, I'm thinking like Torino are a far better side. Their odds were far better. Now, okay, what happened? Nearly 67%. So double the possession. 1 shot on target. So the other team haven't been a threat at all. Yeah, there's Joe Hart. That's what did I say Ian Hart? I might have. Again, I'm from Ireland, so Ian Hart was a Irish international. Of course, I meant Joe Hart, the goalie. So they have. This must be a cup game or something, where they're like, because Pisa are not in the same league as Torino, so this probably is a cup game. Is that? So I'm going to go here, since I'm not looking at. Does OLBG, does OLBG say anything about the Italian Cups? Because again, this is half time at the moment. Football. Italian. No, I can't see anything there. Yeah. I mean, OLBG doesn't cover everything. I mean, they cover the United Kingdom, Scottish League, and all those kind of things in greater depth than other countries. Oh no, what I can do is I'll Google. Trino 6 and Serie A, and showing more and more impressive when it comes to scoring. Why we love so much the Cup Series. Trino 6 and Serie A, they're showing more and more impressive skill. The Wolves find the net on their last 80. They're a bit more modest in this term, and they're just 14th out of 16 in Serie A B. So these are doing. Okay, so boring team without scoring or even conceding enough. So why does he think that they're going to be loads of goals scored in this game? I don't know. So I do think that Torino are going to win. So for all the effort I put in, bothering to read those pages, paid for it. Actually, what I'm going to do is, well, no. I was going to say look for Torino to win 2-0. Because, if the other team doesn't tend to score, that might be interesting. I'll see what the odds are there. But, if they haven't conceded a goal yet, you probably won't get much extra. So it's 1.6 just to say to win. To win 2-0. So, this is a very small market. Less than 1,000 has been bet on it. So it's very liquid. These people want very high odds. This guy wants 2.48. That person wants 3.25. I want 1.85. Ooh, some of it did get matched. You can see here, some of it was matched. Now I don't know whether the rest of it is going to get matched, but at least there's a potential €2.40 there. I think I'm just going to have a cup of tea while the halftime is on. Just checking. Excellent. So my bet at 3 got matched. So I got €5 at 3.0. It's 2.78 now. So you know me. Happy with that. So I just can take a couple of minutes off. Come on, Trina. Ooh. And I'm back. So the Newcastle games started again. Pay attention to that. The Liverpool leads both sides to score isn't looking great now. The Torino odds are going up, so hopefully the bet has matched. I mean, it should soon enough, since as long as it remains 0-0, the odds for Torino to win will go up. So if it's 85th minute and it's still 0-0, Torino to win should be about 3.0 or something. And so this bet should get triggered. And the Liverpool game has begun. Offside. Has this bet been triggered? I think I had it at 3.0 as well. No, not yet. I don't expect to add any more bets. Perhaps on Torino. A little bit more on Torino. I'm just worried that Newcastle will score before this bet gets triggered. Here's a trick. When I'm in the game like that. And I'm sitting there going, always the bet gonna get triggered. What you can do is make two bets. So I wanted a bet of €5 at 3.0. So I'm just going to replace that by two bets. Done. So now the 2.8 bet has been triggered. And if it hits 3, it should really hit 3.2 as well. So, in the end, I end up with exactly the same bet. But I've kind of smoothened it out a little bit. If Newcastle score before it hits 3.0, I at least have a little more backing Newcastle. Is that okay? Yeah, so I'm looking to make 11, and hopefully I'll make another 550. Though, if Newcastle score beforehand, that's largely better because that means, I win the bet rather than, and I have the bets on the other account already at 3, so I'd take that. What are Liverpool doing? Okay, I'm just going to go back. Spent. Now, I'm happy that I, didn't bet on Liverpool at 1.3. I can get 1.5 now. If I wanted. But it's not obvious to me that's a particularly attractive bet. I'm just going to check how Sheffield United, what's going on there. Because, I was thinking whether I should. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. So Walsall are still ahead. Because I was thinking that I was tempted to back Walsall not to win because, they are Sheffield United are a far better side. So what's going on here? Both have had 2 shots on target. United are at home. They've had far more possession. They're a far better team. I mean, there's a reasonable chance that Walsall are not going to win. So there are 4 interesting games going on. I want to back Torino to win. If I get, I might get opportunities to get evens or better for Torino to win, which would be very tempting. So now it's the interesting time. I couldn't have said beforehand which games were going to be interesting. I mean, I did a bit of research on Hull, Newcastle, and Liverpool Leeds beforehand, so that I knew that I had some history, some data, but I didn't know anything about Sheffield United and Walsall, and I was close to backing Sheffield United, but they were just below the 2 points a game level, which I kind of like to have if I'm backing a team to win, because otherwise the team is kind of good, but they just don't have the control and predictability that that they can go up a gear when they need to. They occasionally, it works at times, it doesn't, but that's not the kind of team I want to typically back. Now Torino Pisa is interesting because again Pisa are struggling in the lower division, so I mean everything says Torino, But as we know, football is a quite random game. I mean, there's a fair degree of noise in there. So back to so there's only half an hour, 40 minutes left. There are 4 interesting games. Here's where they're, so now we're entering a period where we have far better odds. If we just bet on Liverpool at the start, we only would have gotten 1.3. The odds are now a lot better. Ooh, who scored? What happened? So that's a draw. So that the temptation was to back Walsall not to win. If the odds had fallen to 2, if they'd fallen a bit more, perhaps. But, okay, I didn't get... Oh, was the goal offside? Looks like it. The score hasn't come up. It was flashed. Ooh. As I was saying, I mean, the temptation would be if the odds are a bit cheaper, then I might be willing to back Walsall not to win. I don't know what. I think that means it was an offside goal. Now it says second goal there, but it's not on the scoreboard. I don't know. I'll just look at the Newcastle game again, because things are now going to speed up a bit. So now the 3.2 bet has been hit. So, I got my €5 at 3.0. I wanted to look at the Liverpool game, I think. So Liverpool at 1.6. So you can see here, Liverpool are the favourites to win the entire, win the cup, win the EFL Cup. 6-3. Okay, back to here. Yeah, so what happened? Sheffield United, that's still showing 1-0. So I'll just be kind of hopping around between the 4 games, but it'll get more, while the last maybe half hour has been kind of dull, not much really going on. Though we got some interesting bets in there. So Leeds have had 4 corners. They've had 2 shots against 1 on target. So now, Liverpool do have the ability to make some substitutions, that their star players are there. I mean, Coutinho is injured. I don't think Firmino was even in the... Does this include the subs list? Yeah, subs. Nope. So Liverpool don't have the ability to call Firmino to add, to their attacking threat. Lovren, the defender. Henderson is a captain, so he'd obviously strengthen the whole unit. Milner, top player, again, not really attacking. So I don't know. I mean, I don't see what Liverpool That's not Kevin Phillips. Like, might be another one. Another shot on target. Now, I'm not going to add to this bet because I've got enough. The one that looks interesting to me is the Torino one. And maybe Walsall not to win. So if the odds go down to less, 2 or less, I think Sheffield United won't lose the game. They should be able to do something. I don't see an obvious bet in the Liverpool game because, what is there to be scared of? If Liverpool had Firmino and Coutinho on the bench, then they could, in the last half hour, around about now, and increase their attacking threat considerably. But those players aren't there. So what really is, like Sturridge isn't there either. Origi is there. Mane. Those three are kind of first team players. First team players. So, in a way, they shouldn't really require anyone else. They could play those three in most Premier League games. So how come they haven't managed to be particularly effective so far? I don't know. Okay, I'm just going to look at this Sheffield United Walsall. What's going on there? Now, United, so they that goal's been removed. They didn't score. They 2 shots each. They've had a lot of off target shots. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Now, I know Walsall are doing poorly in this division, but Liverpool are in the higher division to Leeds. So how come I don't think Walsall can do it. Now's the key period. I'll just look quickly at Torino Pisa. So now the odds are going up. Right? Before, I don't know, maybe it was 1.3 for Torino. It was a sure thing. Now it's 1.8. They've had far more possession, 60-40. They've had 1 shot on target, 6 off target. I want to back Torino. Yeah. So I want you to go back here. No. I want to. Yeah, so I'm going to go with it. You have to pull the trigger. I just think that Torino are a far better side, and they're gonna. Yeah. Now, that's it. I mean, I already have a Torino to win to nil bet. If I get these two, I'll be happy. So, quick review again. So, I'm backing Torino to win. I was unwilling to pull the trigger on Sheffield United to pull it back, maybe get a draw. Come on, Torino. No. And why are Newcastle taking so long? Now the odds are interesting. Look, I'm going to have to go for it. Spread the risk. So I'm going to come on. Why are they taking so long? Wait a little bit. So, if it goes to maybe 70 minutes, that should lower the odds to maybe 1.8. I'm not, of the bets, I'm not convinced. It doesn't look like Sheffield United are doing much. I mean, and I also don't know any of the background and stuff. Well, I mean, I do. I mean, we looked at the league table. We saw that Sheffield United were near the top. Walsall were quite low. So, I mean, and Sheffield United are at home. So I typically want to back Sheffield United there. But for some reason, it's not really going their way. I don't know. I mean, they are attacking. They have possession. Could be the goalie's having a good game. Back to these two. Hull are doing better than I expected. It's actually looking more like a draw now. I mean, obviously, it's odds on to be a draw. Newcastle will be happy to bring them back, get them back home to Newcastle because their home form is very good. But they have rested their team. They lost over the weekend because they rested the players. And I don't know, does this go to... I think if it goes to extra time, it'll go to extra time, and then it'll go to penalties and stuff. So, though I should have known that. I should have looked that up. Should have been aware of that. But come on, Newcastle. I mean, it has quite leveled. I mean, they have the same number of attacks. I don't know what a dangerous attack is. Is that when you're in the final third or something? Because you're attacking. Newcastle are attacking, moving forward in the middle of the pitch. It's a dangerous attack if it's in the final third, perhaps. But Newcastle have more possession, but same number of shots, and 5 against 7. I mean, it's basically the same. So, I mean, one of the other ways is to basically wait till the last 20 minutes, because the odds are a lot higher then, since it's only, like now, you have like 4-6 if either side wins. There's far better returns. But that's because the chances are it's going to end up as a draw. So, no free lunch. Back to Liverpool. Okay, so the Liverpool and Sheffield United matches are over in 20-25 minutes. The Torino match in 10 minutes more. So at the moment, it looks like a clean sweep of losing all 4 bets, I think. I have Newcastle to win. They're not winning. I have a bet on both sides to score in the Liverpool versus Leeds when neither have scored. I have Walsall not to win, but they are winning. I have Torino to win, and they're not winning. Impressive. But there is still time. I'm going to pop over to the Liverpool match. Still more possession, but they did have 80% or something. So it's less than before. Leeds have had more shots on target. Leeds they basically have similar off. No, I'd say they have similar on target and similar off target. I mean, it's not. But Leeds have had more corners. Have Sheffield United. So they're getting more corners. They've had 12 off target. I mean, it kind of looks like, basically anything could happen. At least I waited till the odds were 1.8. Yeah, and that's been triggered. So my biggest bet is on Newcastle to win. So that's the one that matters the most to me. Walsall is tiny. Torino is the second biggest bet, I think. Now, Torino have had 6 off target against 1, far more possession, far more dangerous attacks. 2 shots on target to 0. And there's still half an hour to go, so I would say I'm happiest, most comfortable with the Torino one. Again, because they have half an hour. So here's where, reality hits theory or dreams. So Hull are doing quite well. I mean, it's not that Newcastle are rolling them over. It's a very close game. So, I mean, it could go either way. No, Hull seem to be pinning Newcastle into their box. I mean, I want Newcastle to be pinning Hull in their box. Getting a shot after shot, and now would be a nice time for them to score, but not making it easy for me. Ooh, Liverpool has scored. Hello. Yeah. Now that was the likely outcome from before the game, but the odds are only 1.3, so they have had more possession. But both sides have had 3 shots on target, and it's been 8 shots off target to 6. So it could have gone. It could have gone either way. There's still 15, 16, 17 minutes left. Who scored? Let's have a look here. So Liverpool made 2. Oh no, this is Leeds made 2 substitutions. Liverpool made 1. Okay. Oh, Origi scored. Who would have been? I mean, it could have been either of these 3. I mean, it was going to be. It was hard to tell. Though it actually looked like it was going to be no one to score. So now what can Leeds do? Torino, how are they doing? And then I'll go back to Newcastle, because again, that's my largest bet, which is not looking great at the moment. 4 shots on target. They've had more possession. But it's comfortable. I mean, there's half an hour, 25 minutes left for Torino. I think they still have every chance. Okay, come on, Newcastle. Nothing seems to be happening. I mean, it's been one shot each for a good while. Both sides seem to be attack 72-72. Dangerous attacks pretty near each other. Oh, El Mahdi. Okay. So they've now done 3 substitutions. And Newcastle haven't done any? That's strange. Got in. Okay. I who else do I know here? Say 10 minutes left. Come on, Benitez, do your magic. I don't know. Oh, Liverpool scored again. So, looks like an easy win for them. Origi. Who scored? Oh, Woodburn, the sub. So Klopp has earned his money. Now, ideally, if Leeds could get a goal, then I could win my both teams to score. You know, that'd be at least something. Sheffield United still. They're not. "12 shots off target." Maybe they should, try and shoot on target. I don't know. Was it gone? Currently suspended. Oh, penalty. Fingers crossed. Now, if they get the penalty, it's an incredible €2.85. But, what, Walsall penalty missed. So it got no penalty miss. Sheffield United. Again, it's €2 or something, but not great. So I'm just going to look at Newcastle because That's the vast bulk of the bet. Okay, so Newcastle have made a substitution. They've taken Richie off and put on Atsu. I mean, I don't know either, so I don't know what kind of impact that has. But that's a typical day betting wise. So you can kind of see why it's so infuriating. Liverpool Leeds was, I suppose, the most normal result. But the odds were 1.3. And yes, I know they won 2-0, but we saw they both had pretty much the same shots on goal. It could have gone. I mean, it was closer than a 1.3. And in fact, if you waited, you could have gotten at least 1.8, I'd say. But, you could have gotten far better odds. In the Sheffield United Walsall, that was a very hard game to foresee. I mean, Sheffield United are a far stronger side than Walsall, and they attacked far more and stuff, but they conceded a goal, then they got a penalty and missed it. So that didn't go the way that you would have predicted using whatever method you want. So now we don't know what's going to happen in the Torino game yet. Hull of a man sent off. But in the 89th minute, that makes no difference. If you get a man sent off after maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, then it's hard. Because to hold out for, 50, 60 minutes with one man less is very hard. To hold on for 3 or 4 minutes, no difference. What's happening in the Torino match? So Torino, 4 shots on target, 9 off target. I don't know. Unclear. This just has draw written all over it. I mean, obviously, if you're talking about it being a draw after the 90th minute, that should be a draw. Now, if they suddenly say that there is 6 minutes extra time, then there's a possibility. They should say how much extra time by this stage? No? 3 minutes. That's pretty typical. Now, they might get one more shot. Now, the thing here was that, okay, we could lose the bet, but these were bets where we got 2.5, even 3.0. So they were well priced bets. If we made this bet, yes, Sheffield United. Hopefully this time it'll actually count. Oh, wow. No, not missed penalty this time. No, it's a goal. Yeah, extra time, 92 minutes or whatever. They score. So Walsall don't win. So we win €2.80. Happy days. Now we go back to Newcastle. Wait, what's this? Oh, to qualify. Okay, so Newcastle are not. I think there's going to be either extra time or penalties. If there's extra time, then Newcastle will be very confident because Hull are down to 10 men. Yeah, so the bet's lost. But Newcastle can still go through. So, and Liverpool, is that over? It doesn't look like it's going to be both sides to score. So now I'm going to do what you're kind of not supposed to and chase after the loss. Come on, come on. There. So then I'm hoping to make €10 off this game. Wait. Okay, so Liverpool Leeds is over. And did Sheffield United not equalise? I think they did. I'll have a look here. Sheffield United, Walsall. No, Walsall won. Ah, that's weird. Oh well. So Liverpool won. That's disappointing. Now there's. I don't know whether I want to chase Newcastle in this one. That's just that would just be good money after bad. Hopefully, Torino get the result. I mean, they've been far better. I'm still confused by what happened in the Walsall game. Again, it was like €2. But maybe €3 or €4. Torino offside. Now, if this was say Barcelona or Real Madrid, a top team, I'd be happier to back Torino. Though they aren't. So I mean, they're a good side, but ooh, come on, Torino! It looks because the odds are flicking in and off. Okay, so I'm gonna chase this one just because I know that's the classic gambler's ruin. But we've had Walsall not managing, or Sheffield United not managing to beat Walsall. The Newcastle Hull game. Typically, if a team attacks so much and dominates so much and is a far stronger side than the other, football, there is a lot of randomness. I mean, there's a certain degree of randomness, but it isn't um, purely random. I don't think anyway, but I'm losing the bets here, so what do I know? Um, that's why you want value bets, so that yes, you can lose bets, but when you win more than when you lose. So you can be you can come out on top. Like have I that Trina bet got triggered? No. Come on. Pisa should be kind of time wasting at this stage. Trina might get one last chance. I don't think they'll get. If it was Barcelona, they'd get maybe 2 or 3 more, because they'd be used to the opposition sitting there defending all the time. So Barcelona, that's what they work on. That's their standard match. Well, that's not the case for Torino. I mean, they normally would have equal matches or would be playing against teams that are better than them. Yeah, so they wouldn't be as experienced or used to this kind of situation where you have to score. There's only a couple of minutes left. Come on. Ooh. Yeah, okay. Newcastle have scored. Again, no difference to me, because the bet is when you bet on the 90 minutes. Now, I could have bet on to qualify, but that wasn't the bet I made. So now, did what you call it, Dwight Wayne or whatever, did he score? That was the other potential. I'll check that slightly later. This is the 6 minutes. Come on, Torino. That gives you should get 6 minutes is enough to get 2 or 3 chances. I mean, that's great, actually, because I wouldn't have expected 6 minutes. Woo! Hull equalised 1-1. They're down to 10 men. That's just football for you in a nutshell. On Torino. That's so weird. Because Newcastle is Benitez side. They'd be very well drilled. Fair play to Hull. I'm just going to check here for a second since it's 96 minutes. I'll just wrap up in a bit. Who scored? Okay, so they haven't said yet. Oh, so we're still only in the first half of extra time. Back to Torino. Come on. So yeah, I just wanted to have these live betting examples just to kind of show what actually happens. You know, when you look, or when I look at a list of matches, you can kind of go, oh, well, this is what's going to happen. And then I can look at history. I can look at this team has been scoring loads of goals, so I'd expect loads of goals to be scored. But like in the Sheffield United Walsall game, you know, all the data would support Sheffield United to win. I mean, they're maybe third in the table. Like, they're far superior side to Walsall. On top of that, home advantage makes a big difference. So you'd expect the home side to win. Now, if Walsall were the home side, that might have leveled things a bit, but they weren't. So all the trends, all the data suggests that typically Sheffield United should win. Now, the way that betting compensates for that is that they lower the odds. So if all the evidence suggests that Sheffield United are going to win, I'll pay you very little. Because, you know, there has to be somebody else taking your bet who thinks that's a fair bet. Like Liverpool against Leeds, they were willing to offer, I think, was it 1.3? Because they know that football is quite random and you can end up with a red card, you can end up with a dodgy penalty. There are all kinds of things that can happen. So I'm willing to pay 1.3. I'll take that bet. And that's why people meet in the middle, and that's a fair bet. So that's the double-sided. So on the one hand, the amount of unexpected random results is very high in football, which is what makes it interesting. You know, that it isn't just a mechanical thing that you can predict, that you could just, that the expected thing happens all the time. Far from it. As I was reading in the book, I think The Numbers Game, the number of goals scored is modeled well as a Poisson distribution. What was that whistle? Is the match over? So you can model the number of goals that a team is going to score using a Poisson distribution. And the thing with that is that since the number of goals scored is very low, you might be a team that scores on average 2.5 goals a game, that scores on average 1 goal a game. So you randomly, and when you plot it, it matches perfectly. So even though you might on average score 2.5 goals a game, the team that scores 1 goal a game can win. Both teams, like scoring goals is such a rare event. Is that game over? It looks like it. Oh, to qualify. So this is going to go on as well. I'll just see whether I've lost my bet. Yeah. Torino game's completed. So just to recap, I was looking at 4 games. Liverpool Leeds, where I didn't back Liverpool since the odds were so poor. So Liverpool did win. But if I'd won that bet, that would have been a minor victory. I looked at Torino Pisa. Now Torino they're in a higher division to Pisa. And they're at home. They began with very poor odds. And so I backed them when the odds were better than evens. Or I think at 1.8. But Torino didn't win. It was a draw. I backed Newcastle to beat Hull. Since Newcastle are looking like they're going to win the championship and get promoted, while Hull are looking like they're going to get relegated. So I got decent odds for that. So, I didn't have to win. I didn't expect to win. But if I did win, I would have gotten paid well. So, so there are always games on. So Porto, I like. And is there... Yeah. So I just want to look at this. Because if this is League Cup... Yeah, but basically Porto are a dominant team. One of the big... In the Portuguese league, you've got Porto, you've got Benfica and stuff. Porto nearly always win. I mean, it's a Belen. They're like there, and they're not playing against Benfica or I think Sporting Lisbon, like the top teams in Portugal. So what I want to do here. So again, the thing with football is there are games going on. You have the English league, you've got the main leagues of the English league, the Italian league, the German league, the Spanish league. What's going on here? Porto, there we are. So that way, using the online bettors guide, you can get insight on all of the games, like all the leagues. Well, nearly all, but all the major leagues anyway. Then we can apply the systematic betting on those. Oh, have Porto scored? No, that's okay. Ooh, who's got a red card? Ah, I'm not going to get 1.4 now. Yeah, the odds will collapse. It'll be 1.1 now. Something like that. As I was saying, if a team gets a red card in the 89th minute, it doesn't make any difference. 1.17. Yeah, so I mean, if you get a red card in the 89th minute, it doesn't make any difference because all you have to do is defend for like 5 minutes. But if you get a red card at the end in the first half, then the other team should be able to rip you to bits. So, given the fact that Porto were super strong favourites to win anyway, that's no one would want to be on the other side of the bet. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say today. Like, our main match is over. My bet on this match is over. I'll be back again probably next week with another match, if not even later this week, because as I said, there are matches all the time.